All right, let's get to work. We got things to do. We got things to do. All right, we in the game now. So, yeah, we got a little bit of a nasty day. Right, so we had a little bit of a flat day in the market yesterday, but the gap up was so big on this thing that the market itself pretty much faded off like, well, really the whole day. I mean, up until, I guess, 2 p.m. So that Google earnings and some of the other ones, you got that big gap in the market, and then it was just really just fade city over there. That made it like nearly impossible to do any longs yesterday. All the money was on the short side because of the gap was so big. So that's why usually when we see those kind of big gap days in the market, we usually bitch and moan that the gap day was so big because there's almost no action after that unless you're playing to the short side, which there were quite a bit down on the short side. You saw like all these Chinese names get just smoked out here. IQ, Huya. A lot of these bad boys were getting really, really nasty here and giving some pretty good setups in terms of bear flags. Just had to nail them. Once the turn started to happen, you had to really be quick and kind of flip the plan and go from long to short. But that's the nature of the game. What are you guys all watching today? Well, there's quite a few gappers and stuff going on. So the market still looks okay. Even with the reversal yesterday, it wasn't that epic in terms of like, you know, it wasn't a huge... The market still stayed green for the day. So it didn't totally roll over, but it did feel nasty as it was going. So we ended up with kind of a doji day, which is normal for the most part after such a big gap up. Let's take a look because there's a lot of earnings plays today that are cruising around. So let's take a look here. On the short side, I'll go over the shorts first, and then we'll flip them to the long side. On the short side, we got this Tupperware. What up, Nick? So on the short side, we got this Tupperware that's breaking down this kind of this yearly lows over here. It looks like it's got some bad earnings out. You're seeing basically it's got a bear flag over here, and it's already been trending down. So usually when we get like these kind of gap down shorts, I prefer to do them on stuff that's already trending down. Those are usually the ones that have a little bit better follow through. So that one I like. Owens Corning, same kind of deal, same setup here. You've got basically a breakdown to really kind of 2017, you know, levels. So after this big ramp, you know, you've really started to reverse. Now you could see like last time it had earnings, it gapped down too, and it followed through for a few days. That's one of the things that you always want to kind of keep checking up on. Is like, what happened the last time it had earnings? If it's already trending down like that, you know, and it has a history of kind of flipping over like that, that's a good thing. It could happen again. So you got $5 gap down. As long as it stays under this kind of 62 range, I think we're pretty good on that one. On the long side, this IRBT had some news out. It's hitting right into some resistance, but if it can kind of pop over that, this one, you know, could be good. Its daily chart's not the best, but this one actually has a history of movement, both up and down, based on news. We've traded this thing now, I can't even count how many times on gaps and stuff, and it's had always like really, really good follow through after its earnings or news or whatever it might be. So this one, it looks like they kind of unexpected Q2 profit gain, whatever that might mean. But this one has only a 20 million share float, so it's just got that like really kind of easy peasy way of having huge spikes. So I really like this one to keep an eyeball on. This Vicar, it normally doesn't have much range, but it is breaking out the highs, and its float's pretty low on this at 17 million. This one is one of those ones that, like, you know, even if it's not normally a big mover, and it has had days where it has moved, just the fact that the float's so low, any push in volume on something like this could really get it going. And you know, that one we're going to really kind of keep an eye on. V-Ray, another one. If you go back over here, if you look at its weekly chart, this one's essentially breaking out the all-time high. So stocks that typically break out the ATH or all-time highs, those have the ability to really make some fast movement. ATTU, another one, pretty low float, busting out the highs. You can see here. You can see here, this thing is really cruising. And we got Grub. This one could be a little bit tricky because it's retail. The one thing with Grub is retail stocks just suck the trade in general. Actually, this is not considered retail because it's a website, but I mean, it's still restaurant to me. But it is kind of busted out over here. Its float's low enough where this thing really, it could get going over here. Its last earnings, it had, you know, a couple earnings ago, it had a big spike at the open and then it kind of faded off, but it ended up trending. So this one's definitely got some juice on it. And then this torque is going to have, you know, pretty much all the degenerates trading this thing. I tend to stay away from these if the gap is too big at the open. It's going to run kind of right into resistance. So it's going to now matter if it stays above or below. If it can't get above this 21.25, you know, you may see some dips on this thing at the open. So that's something to kind of keep mind of when you're looking at this thing. The floats on this is 6.6. It's going to bring in pretty much every degenerate pumper, chat room guy in the world trying to get his followers to kind of buy this bullshit. But we'll be those degenerates too. I won't chase this thing off at the open though. I personally suck at trading these when the gap is too big and there's just too many people whoring around in this thing. So how it works is you got a handful of chat rooms that only pump these things, and then you got a couple of them that only short these things, and just being just a big fucking circle jerk. And then, you know, you get the nice people like me who just want to hang out a little bit and make a little money. And here we're just caught in between good and evil, or evil and evil, and it don't work that well for me. So I probably stay away from this thing. But sometimes the demon comes out of me, and, you know, I end up getting up in these things because I get all excited watching all day trade these things. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I should do it too. You know, he's so short, and, you know, and he doesn't even have the power of being of pure strength. And if he's doing it, maybe I can do it. I got you, Merrick. I totally will do. I had so many classes yesterday. I was behind on my emails. Let me see if I can find it. I didn't see anything from Merrick. Well, definitely don't have anything with the word Merrick in it. I don't think I got it. You know, NVRO's not my kind of thing because, like, after he got just nailed yesterday, you know, it's kind of coming back into range. Merrick, can you resend that thing? Yeah, I don't think I got it. Zamato. Yeah, so this thing is kind of just getting back into its range. So it's like this gap up just takes it right back to where it was. So, 3R. I didn't get it. Oh, Tim Kerr got it. I got it. My bad. Okay. I guess on the other side of things, keep an eye on some of these. Like this Momo got really shemangled yesterday. If you get a pop in this thing, at the open, I'd watch this thing to see if it starts to roll over. If you start to see it roll over a little bit, you may think this thing goes to green to red, and you may start a next leg down. I mean, it did have a $6 range on it yesterday, but this is like a pretty big, bear flag breakdown. Same thing with this Bazoon. Like some of these things just reverse. Like this one I can't short because it's right on support, but the Momo broke the support. So CLF had, because it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big up days, something like that. I can't long this yet. I'd keep an eye on CLF if it gets close to 9. That's your classic breakout pullback pattern. So like this $9 was so important, and it is a little bit thicker stock, 300 million share float. There's a good shot you get this thing back into the 9s, and then I'd probably let this one play out and see if you can bounce it. Make sense? Te gusta? I mean, you love this Rita, Joe. What's up with that? Rita, Rita, don't you want to Rita, Rita? I don't have anything on this one right now. Probably something to watch over the next few days, but I don't have anything I can do with it just now because it's so extended. Yeah, we're summer trading right now, but earnings season's here, so I think we're going to get a couple, maybe 2 weeks of some good action, and then it'll be dead again. Don't you want to read it? Hey, Cindy, there should be like a little button on the side of the site. All right, my friends, I must go. Trade well. Don't you want to read it? Coo. All right, my friends, anybody got anything to say? Rock and roll. Let's go do what we do.